Yeah. Welcome back to Umbrella of Mercy.
What's
My name is
happening?
Nikki.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Heather.
Yes, we have our first guest.
Oh, let me press the button.
Oh, she's not going to be happy about that. It's. I think it's one over. I told you. Look.
Yeah, we hear you, man, in the back. We hear you. Quite good.
I'm gonna need that pink button.
Oh man. Okay. So we don't want to be on here for too long because I'm just saying I
Just
wanna
let
be
the Lord
mindful.
use us.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fine.
Okay. Let him use them. Let him use you, Lord.
Welcome to Umbrella of Mercy, guys.
Yeah. We don't need a big umbrella today because we're talking about marriage.
Oh, yeah. Where's that button?
I don't know.
Oh, that was very loud. Marriage deserves more.
I will just say this much. As somebody who has been single most of her life and just recently got married, I do feel like the church idolizes marriage and it idolizes like parenting. And I think it would be beneficial for us to talk about when talking about the idea of marriage, while it's something beautiful and wonderful and all the things, and it can bring a lot of joy in a person's life, like I think it would be more beneficial for people to really hear about just relationships in general. I think a lot of the problems that we've seen in marriages happen over time. It's because people are just really terrible friends.
Yeah, I think marriage really is in and of itself, and obviously it's a relationship. It's a relationship that's been taken to a different level with a commitment, right?
Yeah.
But like any other commitment, it can be broken, right? So really, the core of it is the relationship. It isn't
100%.
it isn't the piece of paper,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's more what gets idolized in a lot of ways. Is that you have to have this marriage certificate to have a relationship that's valid, that's important, that's Christ-centered, all of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to pause. I'm sorry.
Okay. So yeah, like we tend to, there was a little bit of a pause there. I'm not going to lie to the people.
Yeah.
We had to adjust some things.
Don't judge me, judge TV. Wait,
It's
that's not what
judgment.
it says.
It is what it is.
Judge
you
not,
know?
lest ye be judged. How about you take the log out of your eye?
We're
gonna-
we're doing a lot. We idolize marriage in the church. Let's just be very frank.
100%.
And so I think it would be better for us to talk about, like I said earlier, just the idea of what it means to be a good friend. Is that
I think
fair?
I think friend is a good place to start.
Yeah.
And if you're married and you're not friends, it's a good place to get to.
Get back
to or
right?
or get
Like-
to. Like I know of plenty of marriages that did not start off as friends.
Oh yeah.
No, they did not.
No. That's true. That's fair.
They didn't start off as friends. They went right to the relationship. Oh, it's right into infatuation, right into like, oh yeah, you hot, I'm hot. Let's put this hotness together. So weird.
I feel like in that moment when you said that, I had that meme of the lady who's like got all the math problems going on, and I was like,
Where are we going?
That's why I cracked up.
I'm like that in my own head. It's like, where are we going? Buckle up.
Buckle up, buttercup.
We'll see when we get there.
yeah, because I think that when you think about friendships, we think about like just enjoying each other's company.
Yeah.
I think too many times we think about marriage as a transaction. I had a wonderful walk on my Sabbath day. Today's Monday. Just going out in nature with a girlfriend of mine, and like we talked about like how so much of a lot of our dating life was filled with that mindset of, oh, I got to find somebody to marry in order to have kids. And like that person that I want to spend the rest of my life with, not so much because I like that person, because my the quote unquote biological clock of like, it's ticking. I want to have kids. And we thankfully, God blocked it. Because there were moments we talked about.
No, not today.
Okay.
Not in my house.
Not in my house. R.I.P. They were they were like God blocked situations that we were in, that we were fully ready to be like, okay, we're going to end up like marrying this person because we're ready to like settle down and have children. That would have ended up being very terrible situations for both of us, both for that person that we were gonna be get married to, and for ourselves. Like it was just gonna be we think about marriage as just transaction. Like what can I get from this person? And I don't think we think about friendships that way.
Do we?
I
Do
think
we
that's
not?
when they run into trouble,
I
right?
think
And so that's kind of what I think about when I think about friends. Like we talk about marriage as work and it's hard. And I would not disagree with that. But we have to ask the question, okay, but are my friendships, my richest, my strongest friendships, are they hard? And if they're not, why is my marriage hard? Like what am I bringing to this friendship conversation?
Like, so you were talking about like friendships and some of the most valuable.
Yeah, I mean, if something becomes work, then you're bringing something to the equation, or the other person is bringing something to the equation that makes you have to work. And yes, that's life. But and I think particularly with marriage, if you're spending so much time together, you don't spend that much time with your good friend. So like that changes the equation. I think the part I'm going to go back a little bit to the church idolizing marriage, because I think there's an argument to be made that the church has a responsibility to come alongside couples to help marriages succeed.
Okay.
But I think that's actually a bit twisted, because what the church has a responsibility to do is to create disciples and help people. And if you are a disciple, if you're fully devoted disciple, follower of Jesus, then you are already doing the internal work that is going to improve your marriage. And your friendships and your parenting. So I don't think it's the marriage that the church is called to come alongside and support. Now, I might be run out of town for saying that, but I think it's the discipleship, both corporate as well as individual. And once you're doing that work, you can apply those principles in any relationship, and particularly in marriage.
Yeah, and I think because we don't necessarily do a good job of that, like we wound up having to repair a lot of like brokenness. And there's, like, to your point, there's an unhealthy idolization of idolization isn't healthy in general, but like the way that we pedestal marital life, over singlehood is a travesty, because it's like it takes two individual, not two halves, two whole complete people to make a solid marriage. People who aren't still dealing with insecurities. Now, I believe marriage is a powerful tool to help two individuals navigate those things. But man, just think of how much more impactful a marriage could be if you're already entering in from a place of like, oh, I'm in a healthy situation. I know the things that I need to deal with. Or
you're at least self-aware enough to be working on it, right?
Because that brings me to another issue with like, we hear things like marriage is really good because it helps men be a little bit more stable, a little bit have something to live for. It helps statistically men live longer after marriage. But the reality for women in marriage is the absolute opposite. Right. We statistically live less. We don't live as long once we get married. Like, it is statistically, a marriage or partnership with a man is one of the most dangerous places for a woman to be when you think and if we think about like how do we come into relationships healthy, it should be mutually beneficial. It should be beneficial for a woman in a relationship with a man and a man in a relationship with a woman.
But part of my problem with it, and it speaks to what you're talking about a little bit, is that it is literally not my job to stabilize my husband. It is also not his job to provide financial security for me. We are whole humans. As you already said, we are whole humans. I am responsible for my own happiness. I am responsible for my own financial security. I need to be able to pay my own bills. It is not his job to do that. Now, I personally, I personally happen to stink at managing money. So, or I did, right? So can I learn from my husband? Absolutely, because he's phenomenal at managing money. And so I, in the course of our marriage, I have learned a lot, but it wasn't his job to teach me.
Right.
That was a friendship, an act of friendship. Like, hey, let me help you improve in this area. Not his job. Not my job to say, let me help you improve on shutting cabinet doors.
Yeah. It's the heart of where like things come from. Like,
that's exactly right.
It's not coming from a place of obligation.
That's right.
Because like, oh, this is my responsibility, a duty. Like this person, never mind.
Yeah.
Right.
If you hear beeping in the background, that's the food truck coming in because we get the food truck coming in.
And it's not beeping my language.
Yeah. But so like we're not approaching things from a like I'm obligated to do this because I am a man or this is my role.
Correct.
Or you're a woman and you're supposed to do this.
Correct.
We do these things because I love you and I want to see you thrive in this area. Like I'm going to offer my help. In this area.
I was fortunate to have a really good model of that in my grandparents' marriage because, they were married in 1939. So you would think like insanely traditional marriage. However, my grandmother managed all the money. She made all the financial decisions for them, right? And my grandfather, he worked and he did all kinds of other things. So he had different roles. So in that aspect, they were like, wait, we're whole humans entering into this relationship. Yeah. I am way better at this. You're way better at this. That's how we're going to live it. No matter what society or culture says that we need. And, they're from Texas. So of course they were supposed to have a super traditional role, right? But they did not. They chose very differently. And so for me, that was a really good model in terms of like, you don't need to fall into traditional traps. The church was always telling me something different.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like I grew up in a home where, my parents would there was seasons where some would do one thing one would do one thing and then another season where another would be the, financial breadwinner because my dad made like an incredible sacrifice when they said, we think it's beneficial for you, my mom, to go back to school as an adult. And so like he bear the brunt of the financial burdens and like in the home of like cooking and cleaning because my mom was, working, part-time and then going to school part-time and like was like putting in a lot of effort. And then once she graduated, it was like, okay, well now the financial burden's on her. And then so, the things like changed and they did what I think is a appropriate model of Ephesians 4 of mutually submitting to one another.
That's exactly right.
To see the other succeed because it was I love you so much that I want to do what I need to do to make you like help you be the better person, the best version of yourself and vice versa. And the church was always telling me a whole different story.
That's exactly right.
Submit to that man. Don't be too opinionated.
That's right.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I mean, it's given slaves obey your masters.
Exactly. Yeah. Like be somebody worthy of submitting to. First of all,
first and foremost, like and I think so much of it goes is culture, it's patriarchy, it's the spirit that prevails over this land that says there has to be someone who's in a hierarchy and then someone in what's the word I'm looking for? Submitting. Subservient.
There's a whole, I mean, we could do a whole conversation about hierarchy and the toxicity of hierarchy in general. And I think, our natural inclination, I mean, we do it with the Trinity, right? Like who's in charge in the Trinity, right? Yeah. And so that's a whole other theological conversation, but we try to apply that here in our human relationships, which is insane. Like there's
and apply it wrong. Like even if we were going to apply it Like if we really applied it, it would be like fluid like that. Like you see in scripture when the Trinity is like, even when Jesus is taking center stage, you see the Father present, you see the Spirit present, you know? And so there is an intertwining of the responsibilities and roles, and when this person gets the shine, when this person gets the shine. And I think if we actually model that in our marital relationships and in our friendships, it wouldn't be where like, oh, I have to win and you have to lose.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think you know, I mean, it sounds very hippie-esque. Like the center of that is love. And so my question,
I don't think that's hippie at all.
I mean, peace, love, and rock and roll, baby.
Revolutionary.
Amen. My question that I'd like to pose to the table, or lack
The
thereof,
very small
the
table.
very small table, is like what? Let me pull my thing out here. What aspects of
the
love?
It's a scroll. Isaiah saith.
What aspect of love do you find the most difficult to practice? And let me tell you, I'll start.
Okay. Good.
Patience is the one that is the hardest thing for me to practice. I am very impatient because I want things done my way, because I know better, and you should do it the way I told you to do it. And if you didn't do it like I told you to do it, why? I mean, you're going to learn today. I'm very impatient. And, but I'll tell a story. And I should have asked Jermaine if it was okay for me to share this, but I'm going to do it anyways. We'll have that conversation later.
Whole mental dialogue out loud. And
we had just come back from our honeymoon, and we were in my place, and because we have separate homes right now. We were in my place, and we were still on that, like cloud nine honeymoon, euphoria. And I'm sitting in the living room, and I could see him in the kitchen, and he just starts rearranging everything. And this is where I would say my love tank was so full that I was able to practice patience in a better way, because I just said, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. And all I did say was like, I see you rearranging things. Just tell me where you move things so that I'm not lost afterwards. And he said, all right. And that's a spam call. And he goes, all right, I got you. And so there he is. I don't know. It's not letting me reject the call, and I'm upset about it because it keeps vibrating in my hand.
you just throw it across the room.
I know, right?
Sorry. Anyways, and so he's like, okay, yeah, I'll let you know where I move things. And I was like, I'll just sit here quiet. I won't say nothing, although it don't make no kind of sense how he's moving things. In my head, I was saying this. And then afterwards, after he was done, I was like, well, but God, by gosh, golly, it's actually a much better organization of the kitchen. And so that was an example of like, it was good for me to practice patience there. But I will tell you though, it is really difficult when that love tank isn't as full. That's the first thing for me to go for me. What about you guys?
Man, I'm sitting here as you're speaking, like I'm thinking about like, man, what is mine? And it's the one that I hate to admit the most, but it's self-control. And I hate that because like all throughout my church career, what has been spoken over my life is that boys have no self-control, and it was the what was said over me, like in the height of my indoctrination in purity culture.
Oh, Lord.
And it was like, you have no self-control. And I think the reason behind it is obviously my ADHD, and where it,
impulse.
It's impulsive, right? Like I see something and it looks cool. I want it.
I gotta get it.
I gotta go get it. It's shiny, you know?
Real talk.
And that has caused in my marriage a lot of like hardship, but it goes back also to like love tank. Like I'm more like chill when my love tank is
it's full.
It's full.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm going to make you feel a little bit better because I've been sitting here listening to two of you trying to figure out how to name. Like, I know what the thing I struggle with the most is, but I can't really name it.
Okay.
But it does come down to self-control. And again, I struggle with some of the same like ADHD issues. And so, but mine manifests itself in the way of I can't not say something. I can't, like if we're having a disagreement, for my husband, it is better to leave it alone, let him process, and then come back later and talk about it.
Yeah.
He has made this very clear to me. He has spoken in kind words, like, please, just give me some space. And another thing. Here I come, right? But you need to understand this, and this, and then this is my trauma from back here. Like, I got to bring everything up.
Look, same.
Wait, but how long have you been married, Heather?
29 years.
20, oh, wow.
And I still have not learned. This is how thick my skull is, right? But it's impulse control. It is self-centeredness. Like I need you to see me and hear me because I need to convince you of my way. Like even when we've done like leadership analysis here as a team, like the one thing that comes up for me over and over again is that I'm always trying to convince somebody to think my way. But the self-control piece is I know what he needs and I am not willing to give it to him. Because I have to, I got to say something.
Yeah, but it's that nag because I do, and that's the shadow part because the lighter part of it is like you want to be understood, and I think that's something that's is good.
Everybody longs to be understood.
But the shadow part is like when my need to be understood trumps whatever you need.
That's exactly right.
And like I deal with the same stuff.
Well, and what's really bad is I will chase him down. He'll be like, you know what? I'm just going to to step out. Here I come.
He locked himself.
There's this other thing, and I need you to know. And he's like, oh my gosh, please go away. And not because he doesn't love me, but because he needs, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, give it a minute.
But what you shared about what your husband does to communicate what he needs from you, I learned that in a friendship. Like I remember when a dear friend, she's still a dear friend to me today. Like she was the first one to say like, hey, when you did this to me, like I didn't think that was a very loving or caring thing for you to do. Here's what I need from you moving forward. And I was in my 20s, but it was the first time that I had ever heard anybody communicate what they needed from a relationship like that.
And this goes back to our original premise, right? Like a marriage is essentially a friendship,
right?
And it needs to be a friendship, and
that's what it needs to be. Like that's at its core. Like what it shouldn't always be is a friendship.
And I think there's something to be said for Gen Z too, in that they kind of get this in a different way. So I talk to my son on a regular basis about that. Like be friends with someone first, and that's I see that playing out in his life. Like they go to as a group to a movie, or they're on a group chat, or they're, and so those relationships develop in that kind of incubator of we're all friends. And it happens that's how my relationship with my husband started too, was we were friends first. And I think no, our marriage isn't perfect. It isn't wonderful. I just told you how I'm insane, but also but the friendship piece of it was so critical. And coach, and I do think Gen Z, because I'll say something to John and I'll be like, and this thing, and he's like, like, okay, Captain Obvious. Exactly. Bruh.
Man. Yeah, I think it was through my marriage that I learned how to be a friend. I thought I was a good friend. But my wife was the one who pointed out that like I could be flaky at times. And it's often like she would point out things that like I didn't see in myself because like none of my current friendships called that out of me, and so
Yeah, I'm sitting here shaking my head going, I swear we've got some DNA that's intermixed.
Look, she would call this stuff out of me. I'm like, no, man, because my friends would say something if they thought this. Well, and like my friends like coming up, like we just it didn't go that deep. It was always surface level. Mm-hmm. And then I learned what friendship looked like from observing her and her friends. And then I started like, whoa, I can challenge these dudes.
Yeah, and I think that's what, that is what kind of sets marriage apart a little bit, because you have made this like commitment, like to stay with this person for forever and ever. Amen. Mm-hmm. And I think when you make a commitment like that, in order to like thrive as an individual and as a couple, we have to be able to say, hey, look, I don't like it when you do this, or, I need you to do this for me. Yeah. And yeah, that is the difference between friendships and marriages. But I do think you can get a lot of that from quality friendships. But I was a whole grown person before I had a friend do that to me. Yeah. And for me.
And I'm not saying that like I think I would disagree that's the difference between friendship and marriage. I just think that was an aspect of friendship that I didn't have.
How dare you disagree?
Take it up with you and the Lord, G. But look, yeah, but I just think that was an aspect of friendship that I didn't discover until marriage. Like I've never had that, you know, and I've never seen that, you know, and but it's that the sacred influence of my wife that showed me that was something that I needed, and more than just from her, like from all of my friends.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So I think that's the difference between, I love that phrase, the sacred influence, because if it's sacred, then it's coming from a place of humility and saying, hey, look, I think this will help you, not just between us. Like it doesn't help me win. That's not the point of me bringing this up. I want to see you flourish. And so these are the things that this is something that I think can help you flourish. And that, I think, is a critical difference between a controlling role. You know, when we talk about submitting and those kinds of, there's this implication of control or letting go of my own self,
who has the final say,
right? Or who has the final say, or letting go of who I am as a person and dying away for the sake of the marriage is not the point. The point is to understand and to learn from one another. That becomes a place of humility, that becomes a place of growth and thriving, and that becomes a place of mutual submission. I can't learn from you if I don't submit my ego to the need to, in the space of needing to win. If I always need to win, then I'm never gonna be able to learn, and vice versa, right? So that's the healthy space of letting my own desires and pursuits from a winning perspective, not from a gain perspective, from an overage perspective, not my own pursuits of like my life and career and hopes and dreams and whatever.
Yeah, because you could thrive. You could thrive in those areas and be, setting ablaze everything else.
100%.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of other things we can talk about when it comes to marriage and like relationships. And, but I thank you so much for being part of this conversation, Heather. And thank you so much to you.
Pause for applause. That was abrupt.
There was no fade out.
I didn't do it.
There's no fade out. No, thank you again, Heather, for all the wisdom that you brought and like just your experiences that you brought to this conversation, and as well to you, Brandon. Like you guys, I'm brand new in this whole marriage thing. So I'm learning a lot from you guys. I'm learning a lot from my spouse in this space, like how to be a better just human being. And I know it's a lifelong journey.
I was just going to say, look, in some ways I'm still brand new to marriage because I learned something about how to make marriage work and be sustained and to thrive all the time.
Yeah. And we're always growing. We're always changing, or at least we should be. And so always be like curious and checking in with one another. I think that's dope.
Yeah. So you've been married 29 years. How long have you been married?
It'll be 13 years this year.
Praise the Lord. Amen. Amen. Well, again, thank you guys for joining us on Umbrella of Mercy. We hope that you guys join us for the next week. And
we're not going to leave the people with some action items.
Oh, you know what? That's a great idea.
We got to leave the people with some stuff.
If you followed us so far, leave a blue heart in the comments as well. Let us know that you're with us. Okay, so what's the key takeaway? I'll let you guys take the lead in that.
All right, so here's some homework assignments that you may want to try out. And I mentioned this last episode.
Gen X is never going to assign homework, just so you know.
I mean, that's fine. Millennials always did their homework in class.
That's right.
We were too busy in detention.
But yeah, so I forgot what I
stole your thought. I'm so sorry.
No, disconnect and reconnect.
Oh yeah, you talked about this. Yeah. Was it on the podcast?
It wasn't a podcast. It was in the podcast
for the technology conversation. That's right.
But like, break away from things. Maybe go on a walk and just check in with each other. To see how you doing.
Her headphones keep
struggling with these headphones. I don't know if my head is shaped like an egg or what the problem is.
What is something that you and your spouse like have kind of built into your rhythms that continue to like push you guys forward? I know I put you on the spot.
You did. You did. I do think so when we were dating, we used to do this thing called a Sunday drive where we would get in the car and we would just drive all over the place, like especially in the ag reserve and those kinds of spaces. And we would listen to music that we both love and windows down and just have really good conversation. Or if it's dead of winter, whatever. It was all year round we would do this. And I think we didn't do it for a really long time. It's hard to do with a little one, as you well know. But we have recently kind of gone back to that space of, you know what, we're just going to go. I hate this phrase, so please forgive me. But you're still dating, right? You are still dating. There is still something to be said for spending time together that you just enjoy. Just enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
I actually like the whole keep dating. I mean, just dangerous. Anyways.
Not other people.
Not other people. No, just
it's
spouse.
Dating your spouse.
I love that Sunday drive thing. I'm gonna do that. That's my assignment to myself.
Okay. I mean, now I have to do it on Saturdays because Sundays we're working. Day, yeah. But yeah.
That's right.
Saturday's valid.
Yeah.
Saturday's my birthday too.
Oh, it is. Well, happy birthday.
Fling. I don't have to do it anymore.
Oh boy.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Headphones and Heather's head. Oh my god.
You look like a DJ.
I did.
Spin that track.
Oh. The fader killed my vibe.
Yes, it did.
I was like,
We're
nothing
having
happened.
too much fun with the buttons here. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Sunday drives. Keep dating each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I'm brand new, but
that's
play.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, play.
Playtime. Yeah, it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah. We call it something else now.
Stop. Somebody save me.
Censored. No, play. No, like playing, like going on walks together. Yeah. Like when we did that a lot in our dating. Like when we were dating together, we would go out on a lot of walks together. And before Rosie came into the picture, our dog, we would play catch a lot. And then in the winter time, we started bowling for a while. We just playing together was a activity that we still enjoy doing.
So remember fun.
Having fun, yeah.
Because man, sometimes we forget fun. We start paying these bills and stuff and doing all this
lifing.
Like analytical thinking, executive functioning things, and forget about fun.
That's right.
All right. Well,
there's your key takeaways.
There you go.
Okay. I hope you guys come back next week.
Please come back.
I won't be here. Don't worry. It'll be a safer space.
It is always a safe space here under the umbrella.
Unless you're
mercy.
trying to wear headphones, apparently. You have a head like an egg.
We should have had a tutorial. That's on us.
You know what?
It's my head, Shay. I can't help it. Egghead.